Hello everyone, and welcome to my review of the Kulve Taroth Gamma armor set. Until Iceborne comes out, the Kulve Gamma set and the Thegameconomist Gamma set is all we have left to enjoy for free content. There's also going to be a lot of incandescent weapons to look at from her new loot pool, and I may analyze those one at a time when I collect them all. If you're having trouble farming Arch-Tempered Kulve Taroth, or you don't want to farm her with randoms, consider joining my Discord channel and asking to farm her with the group. Let's get started with the armor review. First of all, I have to say I'm a little disappointed with the way the armor looks visually. This won't affect my rating for the armor set at all, it's just that some of the new Gamma sets look really cool. But for the Kulve Taroth Gamma set, all they did was basically lighten the gold color a bit. They didn't even give you new options for changing the color, like the way the color palette can be changed. It's still basically the same as the old set. Anyways, let's not let that affect our analysis of the set. Starting with the defense, it's going to be the same as the Kulve Taroth beta set, which I gave an S to, which means we're going to transfer that rating right onto the Gamma set. Now I know there's still a -4 weakness to ice damage, and that we are getting an ice map expansion in the future, but that's not for like another 8 to 9 months, so we don't care about that yet. The Kulve Taroth Gamma set gets 4 fire resistance, 3 thunder resistance, and 92 defense when augmented. It does come with -2 points to dragon damage, but honestly that is still manageable, and I would say the perfect fire defense is a lot more valuable, so S tier it is. Next, you'll notice that there's no set bonus skill for this armor set. It's kind of interesting because Arch-Tempered Kulve Taroth's new weapons come with built-in set bonus skills. However, that doesn't mean you shouldn't want to combine those with skills that you would get from an armor set, right? What I'm saying is, in other words, we can't just ignore the fact that the Kulve Taroth Gamma set has no set bonus skill, because we're actually able to combine what the weapons have with what the armor sets could have. For example, maybe Critical Element and Master's Touch together, right? That's meaningful. And that's why we're going to go ahead and give the Kulve Gamma set a D in the set bonus skill category. For the helmet slot, we're given Kulve Taroth's Fury Gamma. It comes with 1 level of Power Prolonger, 1 level of Stun Resistance, 1 large decoration slot, and 2 small decoration slots. That's actually highly efficient. However, only if you wanted both Stun Resistance and Power Prolonger, which I would argue is pretty rare. We saw these kinds of complicated skill pairings with the Lunastra Gamma set, so we kind of have to not judge it too quickly. I guess that'd be a fair thing to say. If we ignore the stun resistance on this build, like let's just imagine it's not there, the helmet becomes much more similar to the Thegameconomist beta helmet in terms of efficiency. So the issue really comes down to how important you think Power Prolonger is, and I'm still not convinced it's a must-have skill, but maybe you guys in the comment section can change my mind on that. However, the real problem for this helmet is that it just gets killed by the Zenith Gamma helmet, which is basically a straight upgrade from this, right? For that reason, we're going to go ahead and put the new Kulve Gamma helmet right into the B tier. In fact, we'll be nice and give it a B+, for technically being efficient. However, I don't feel like I would choose it over the Zenith headgear, which is able to finish off Blight Resistance and 1 level of Razor Sharp / Spare Shot. Next, we have the Kulve Taroth's Ire Gamma. It comes with 2 levels of Handicraft, 1 level of Agitator, and 1 small decoration slot. Normally I would say this is one of those niche pieces of armor where you have to want both skills for it to be really desirable, but in this case I really don't see the appeal. It's almost not even an upgrade to the Kushala Sista Beta in the case that you didn't need Agitator, right? And that's an older piece of armor now. We also have the Kushala Cocoon Gamma, the Handicraft Charm, Death's Stench Heal, and Kulve Taroth's Malice Alpha for building Handicraft. So I would say the odds of me using this chest piece aren't that great. The main appeal is that you're getting a level of Agitator and a small decoration slot, which means there are cases where it'll be better than the Kushala Sista Beta. But then again, I rarely need to build Handicraft in the chest slot anymore. I'm going to go ahead and give this chest piece a B+ as well. It's just not quite A tier desirable in my opinion. Now we're going to go ahead and take a look at the arms, called Kulve Taroth's Rage Gamma. You'll notice it comes with 2 levels of Handicraft, 1 level of Constitution, and 1 small decoration slot. In other words, it's basically copying the archetype of the chest piece that we just looked at. But at least this time there's really no competition in the arm slot for building Handicraft, so it's basically just a straight up new option for building Handicraft there. On the other hand, I would argue that they're not even that efficient. not when you compare them to the Dragon Vambraces, Empress Vambraces Gamma, or Zanajiva Claws Gamma. I mean, they're still pretty good in terms of efficiency, they're just not pushing any new boundaries, right? There's probably a most optimal use for these. Maybe you guys can recommend which weapon you would pair these with. I just feel like if you're building handicraft anyways, you're probably interested in the Master's Touch set bonus skill, which you aren't going to get with these or the new Kulve Gamma chest piece. So let's go ahead and place them in A tier for giving you an option to build handicraft in the arm slot and move on with the review. Next up, we have the Kulve Taroth Malice Gamma. You'll notice it has 1 level of weakness exploit, 1 level of critical boost, and 1 large decoration slot. It kind of reminds me of the Dragon King eye patch. It's also now one of the best coils in the game, so you're going to want to pick this one up. Strangely enough, is actually less efficient than the Kulve Malice Beta, the previous, Kulve Taroth coil slot. But those are forcing you to take handicraft and free element, so it's not a direct comparison. The Empress Coil Beta forces you to have Tool Specialist. Kaiser Coil Gamma is a lot more efficient, however most people don't want to use latent power. Kushala Cocoon forces you to take handicraft. Zora Spine gives you critical eye and bombardier. We could compare all the coils, but none of them do a better job of building affinity and critical damage than this one. Unfortunately, it also doesn't work with the Dragon Armor set, since you would be building 4 levels of critical boost, and that's probably the main thing holding this new coil back. Yes, it fulfills a new role in the waist slot, but we're not sure what it's going to be used with. For now on, we'll place it in the S tier, though I have suspicions it could be lowered into the A tier later on if we don't find it being used optimally in any builds. I'm really suspecting it might be used with bow builds though, so that would that would almost do the opposite effect of making it even more valuable, right? Finally, the real star of the new Gamma set are the leggings, Kulve Taroth's Wrath Gamma. Basically, it gives us the new best way to build the Heat Guard skill, which is suddenly extremely relevant for fighting Arch-Tempered Zanajiva. It wasn't before. Previously, the best way to build Heat Guard was with a Heat Guard charm, and this was pretty inefficient. So now that we can build it in the leg slot, along with 2 levels of Agitator, 1 large decoration slot, and 1 small decoration slot, it basically makes a counter build for Arch-Tempered Zanajiva. They all need to be updated. It's going to make them much better. If you didn't need the Heat Guard skill, these are still not bad for building up the Agitator skill, something you should choose over peak performance when fighting a tick damage monster. We're looking at that similar archetype in the leg slot where you've got kind of like 2 medium skills or 2 large skills if you want to think of it that way, and there's still room for like 2 small skills as well. Since the legs completely shifted the Heat Guard build options against one of the strongest monsters in the game, while maintaining a boost to your damage output through Agitator, they get to go right into the S+ tier. Alright, and now it's time for the best part of the review, where we tally up the scores. The Kulve armor once again gets an S tier in defense. However, my new system for rating armor gives them a D for lacking a set bonus skill. Then the helmet got a B+, the chest also got a B+, that was the handicraft. The arms, again handicraft, were given an A. The waist was cautiously given an S. I suspect they might work with bows. And the legs were given an S+. That means the total score comes out to being an A. I'll be interested to see what people do with the new coil, and we already know the legs are going to be added to counter builds versus Arch-Tempered Zanajiva. And that's the end of the review. I want to thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.